Alright, the video's going, y'all, and the audio is now on. What's good? Thanks for joining me, y'all. I want to welcome y'all to this latest episode of the HipHopHumboldt podcast. And in the studio today, we have none other than the Cemetery Boys. Shout out Cemetery Boys. What's up, fellas?
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Pain, me spirit.
That's it.
Yeah. No. Let's go through one at a time, bro. Like, you introduce who you are for the people who don't know.
I'm not Louis. I don't know who doesn't.
Everyone knows Louis. My name is Me Spirit.
Hey.
And I'm Ben and Pain.
Okay. And this is the motherfucking Cemetery Boys.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in today, fellas. Hey, so I'm just really stoked to get you guys in here to tell your story. You guys have been making some waves in Humboldt County for quite a few years, it seems like here.
Like, I think we started doing shows in like 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been some years for surely.
That's what's up, yeah.
We just recently reestablished Cemetery Boys though, so that's been exciting this last like year or so. Then getting back into it, had a little hiatus, so.
COVID related or
Just some fuck shit with one of our former members, and we always kind of disbanded for a while, and then like we were all doing shows at Rampart like separately, and it was just kind of like me and Ben, and I think even Osha, we all talked about it, and we're like, why the fuck aren't we like doing this? Like we're all performing on the same stage, we might as well like get the band back together.
Yeah, for real.
Like get the group back together. So we like.
I think we all like took some time to develop our own sound and kind of figure out how to make the music we wanted to make on our own for a while. And
yeah. Artist development.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you don't, if we could touch in on that a little bit, you know what I'm saying? How, when you guys were doing those Rampart shows, were you guys still like in the zone making music with each other, or was it a thing where you guys were like completely separate, like you guys were just off doing your own thing?
We all kind of like,
Me
I
and
don't know, it's not like we stopped talking, but there was like obviously no
No,
or anything.
yeah,
It was
no.
just, we like.
I mean, I actually moved out of the state for a year during COVID. Definitely didn't think we were all gonna end up back together doing stuff.
Me and Osha always have been like, we like really click with the music. Like we had a few songs when we weren't Cemetery Boys anymore, but like me and Ben, we still only have like one song together. But we've been trying to get some more shit out, and then Rampart's early when we started like coming back together and being like, okay, we gotta get something going. So super exciting to get that.
We started with like doing those Rampart shows. It was like me, Seb, Forrest Green, Juliet, all these people. Igel, Josh. I love you, Josh. Fucking.
Shout out Josh.
Shout out Josh.
Shout out Josh.
That's another name, man. It's popping up all the time.
Come back.
Yeah, for real.
No, but we were like doing those, and then I was like working the desk at in District 7, and Louis came in and was like, "Yo, like, when's your next show and stuff?" And it was like 2 or 3 days later, and we were like, "Yeah, you can come on. You just gotta open for us, basically."
Fucking hate opening. No one likes opening a show, but someone's got to do it.
Hey, someone's got to set it off, bro.
Yeah.
Someone's got to set it
But
off.
it's almost like exciting. Me and Ben were talking about this recently. It's like getting out of your comfort zone a little. It's like, sure, the show opener, like they might not have the same crowd, but it's like getting the energy going for the show and for the acts to come on like after you. It's like definitely a challenge, and it's like nice getting out of your comfort zone a little bit and like doing something like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just a little something. When I was back home, I used to just be skating all the time, just looking like dirty as a motherfucker. Pull up to the club, got my skateboard in hand, ready to roll. The promoter just like, all right, yeah, you go first. Cause you know what I'm saying? I'm like, fuck it. I kicked the whole show off, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, they should have put you like closer to the head." You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it'd be like working out that way.
No, it's like good too when you do like if you do like a mixed bill or something with like people you don't know, and they're like you're the new kid or whatever, and you do the first spot. If you do good enough and you like, set the bar so high that other people can't achieve that the rest of the show, they're not gonna think about everyone after you. They're gonna think about like, oh, that kid who just kicked off the show is fucking insane.
Exactly.
So it's like the opener is like just as important as the closer. Like you gotta the opener's like hyping everyone up, and the closer's gotta like finish the night out strong and stuff. So.
Someone's gotta pull them in. Bro.
That's it. Hey, so you guys were talking about that the Rampart shows you guys were doing. I definitely want to touch on the show you guys got coming up. But in between this latest show that's coming up and when you guys were doing it at Rampart, what was going on?
We're doing shows we did a couple at Siren Song, and like we did a couple shows that's like very low key house shows at my house, and like those are like fun. Not a lot of people pulled up, but like
invite only.
Invite only, because I was hella like, I don't want a bunch of random fools pulling up to my house, but like at the same time I wanted to throw like a fat show, so like we did a few of those, and then we got in touch with Jay, who is with Pinup. I think his promoting team is like Pinup Productions or something, or Pinup Presents, and he like got us in the door with with Siren Song, and I think we've done 3 shows there now, or 2 or 3,
something like that.
Yeah, and those shows, like first one, pretty intimate crowd. It was just a nice like chill time, and then I think we did 2, because then the next one, the crowd was like, it was mainly like people we didn't recognize. I think we sold the place out, and it was a really fun show. So that one was sick. So.
And that was the second one at the Siren Song?
Yeah.
You sold it out. Wow.
And that one was cool because like, you know, we pulled I think it was like 2021. We did a Halloween show at Rampart, but we had like 10 people on the bill, so you get like 30 or 40 people from everyone's little fan base show up. So you have a bunch of people there, and it was like, wow, we got so many people here. But like, then we did that Sirens Song one, and like sold that out. It was like, holy shit, like us 3 did that. And that was insane. Like, you know,
that's a jump off right there for
real. For real.
Yeah,
it was
weren't expecting that.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
And that one too, like we marketed it like crazy. Like we were like pumping out the content and like all that for it. So like definitely paid off. Like I was like really worried we were putting all this effort into like flyers and content, and I'm like, damn, I really like hope this pays off. And then after the show, it was like, okay, yeah, like that was all worth it. It was super fire. So
heck yeah, that's what's up.
It's
all
a real
work
good
paid
feeling
off.
though. Like it's a real good feeling whenever you like you don't put the work in. And you know, it's like right before the show, you're like, fuck, I wonder if like 2 people are going to show up. I wonder if one person's going to show up, you know? And then you see that and you're like, oh, fuck. Like, you know.
It was a big milestone for us for sure.
Yeah.
And we feel like that show really helped like establish us locally more.
Yes.
And gave us a better name. You know, like when we're trying to reach out to other venues and stuff, that was definitely tough. And, like, especially with Rampart, you know, not hearing from them recently. Yeah, we've been trying to figure out where to go. Yeah, it's been weird.
Yeah.
But the next one's gonna be at Richard's Goat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Richard's Goat Tavern. March 31st.
Yeah, Friday the 31st. Got just me, Osha, and Dan, Spirit, New Spirit, Ben and Payne, not Louie. And yeah, that one we got Bumble Crow, my good friend who like has engineered my shit for basically like my whole career. He's gonna be doing some DJ sets at the beginning of the night too.
Oh, dope.
So like so we got him doing spinning till about like 9 o'clock, and then we're gonna perform and shit. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, that's how me and Louie met, was through, there's a non-profit in Eureka called the Mars Project.
Yeah, we got to talk about the Mars Project.
Yeah.
Shout out to Corey down there.
Yeah, we never would have met if we hadn't both been going there as teenagers in high school, you know, wanting to make music and not knowing where to start. And he had a studio and, you know, a space for us to go make the music we wanted to make. And yeah, we were working with Corey, and eventually, you know, he saw we were working on the same type of stuff, and he ended up introducing us, and we like immediately clicked and started working on stuff together. And
Dope.
that was really like kind of the start of this.
Yeah, for sure. Like I definitely wouldn't be where I'm at with my music right now if it weren't for Corey. Like I owe him a lot, because he like really helped me like craft my sound and like taught me the in and outs. Like I had no idea how to use like Ableton. I had no idea. Like I still don't really know how to produce. I can't produce for shit. But like he produced for me a lot like early on, and just helped me engineer, taught me how to mix my vocals, shit like that. So like I owe him like the world when it comes to where my music's at right now, and he's definitely been like a big part of this journey and stuff.
That's dope.
Yeah.
from what it sounds like in the community, Corey's touched a lot of lives in Humboldt County.
Oh, yeah.
For real.
He really, he's like, he could do like lots of different genres. He could like I, didn't know what kind of sound I wanted to make when I first came in there, and I was doing all sorts of stuff. I was doing like boom bap, hip hop shit. Wanted to jump into making like alternative music, Chili guitars. He helped me work on that, more ambient.
We kind of
shit.
introduced him to that though. He didn't know what this whole emo rap stuff was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was like, I keep having these people coming here trying to sound like Lil Peep, and I didn't even know who that was. And, but yeah.
He was growing too along with you guys.
Yeah,
That's
no,
right.
exactly.
And more recently, like, especially Ben, I think Ben and Osha are more the ones that are in this like category of music with like the hyper pop shit that's like popping off now on the internet. Like, we like got him into that too, and like he's been doing that shit and really digging it, and so he really has helped us a lot with our sound, and
That's dope. And then with what you guys showed him, he can pass that along to other people too, because he knows how to engineer it.
Exactly.
For sure.
Hey, that's one beautiful thing I love about Humboldt is like from the outside looking in, because I just moved here 4 years ago. Is like Humboldt has like all these different programs.
Yeah.
If you're like a teenager wanting to make music, what I'm saying? It's like accessible for you guys to do that, you know? It's like me growing up, I had to go look for those scenes, you know what I'm saying? So it's like hearing this shit from you guys is like a beautiful thing. You know?
Like I went to Zane Middle School, and like Zach Lane or Zigzilla, like I was doing the talent shows and like rapping and shit, and he like, I think at the time he had a studio that he was like recording people at, and like I really wanted to get in with him, but then like some shit happened, and like a year or two later he was actually the one that introduced me to Corey like along the way. So like shout out to him too. Like I wouldn't, like back in like middle school, like how many like middle school teachers do you know that are like helping kids like learn to rap and shit and do stuff like that? Like that was super dope. So a lot of respect to him too. Really appreciate him.
Definitely shout out Zigzilla, man. He's a powerhouse in this community because he's another one that's touched so many lives. Like when you have somebody that's a gem like that, like you're talking about, how many teachers are using pushing hip hop to students to help them get their creative energy out when they really need to, like a trauma release, it's healing. And so he's supporting that with a lot of different students and has over the years. So I got a lot of respect for him too.
Yeah, me too. So with him, Corey, like I wouldn't be where I'm at without them. So shout out.
Yeah. Speaking of Zigzilla, he's the president of the newly formed Humboldt Hip Hop Congress that just got started. Yeah, you guys can come out to an event one time. I think the next thing we're doing is a movie screening of a movie called Infamy. I think it's going to be April 21st, so keep an eye out for some flyers for that. Sweet. But it's typically been at the Epitome Gallery. You guys know Julia down there. Shout out Julia at the Epitome Gallery.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah. But Hip Hop Congress is just trying to help everybody collaborate. There's a beautiful scene of artists and culture around here, especially hip hop. And so anything that can be done to support artists and support the scene is going to be, beneficial. And that's what the Congress is coming together to help make moves so that way people have just more infrastructure, right? Like there's, the Fat Bowl ciphers that go on that Albert's went to a few times, you know what I mean? Like that's some infrastructure that's out there. We need more infrastructure, like you guys were talking about with the Mars Project, like outlets for folks to be able to get their creativity out.
For sure, yeah.
No, it definitely helps too, because like I said, like as a kid, like 13, 14 years old, like I was just like making shit on my phone with like, my headphones wasn't sounding very good, and I'm like, I need like professional like assistance on this shit, and I had people to go to, to help with that. So it was definitely very helpful for coming up and making music here in Humboldt. So
heck yeah, shout out again to the Mars Project. So if there's any folks that don't know about it, that are interested in, utilizing the services that the Mars Project offers, this is specifically for youth. You know what I mean? Like, go down there and see Corey. I think it used to be Monica down there, but I think now she's just primarily with the Ink people. I'm not totally sure how she's involved with Mars Project anymore, but I know she used to be and does a lot of good work around here. So shout out to Monica Topping.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah, but yeah, fellas. So I wanted to ask you guys a question. What were some of the influences that you guys were looking at, whether it's music or otherwise, that helped foster your direction with your music?
You guys can go
Definitely
first.
like in the early stages of childhood, just like growing up from being like a toddler to like 15 or 16. It was like my dad, he's always been a musician. Like I didn't get like these resources like the Mars Project and stuff. I grew up in Fortuna, which like it's not too far away, but like there just wasn't anything like that, or at least that I knew about. And so my dad had all of his recording gear and stuff, and one day I was like, hey, I want to make music, and like he just set me up, and I was set up with this, like all I had was this little 8-track, and so I was recording on an 8-track making like emo rap, and he used that for his jazz band and his rock stuff, and like so that was really cool of him. And then like I mainly did photography throughout high school, and I found Louis online and was just like, yo, if you guys ever need a photographer for a show, let me know. And so I shot photos for them in outer space, and when I saw them on stage, I was like, damn, like I don't want to be the dude taking pictures. I want to get pictures taken of me now. Like this is cool.
Yeah, we did a show with City Hippie. That was like our very first outing when it was like our original 3. Ben was in the crowd that night. That was really the first time we all got together. And,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just like started making music, and Louis followed me and was like, liking all my stuff. And one day he's like, yo, like, you want to be part of Cemetery Boys? And I was like, hell yeah. I was so excited. I remember like,
sent them a little Snapchat message. That's like informal way of bringing someone in, but like,
yeah. No,
I
it was
mean, I guess in
definitely,
this day of age, it's like the normal thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's just-
Yeah.
it was definitely like, I mean, I liked a lot of music growing up. I've always loved music. I've always loved like singing and playing instruments and stuff, but I never recorded it. And so like seeing these guys doing that, especially here in Humboldt, like, you don't hear of a lot of people who make it out, so no one ever really tries. And, so it was cool to see people my age doing cool stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that definitely inspired me, but
for sure.
now look at us.
yeah.
Pop it. That was one thing I wanted to ask you guys about too. So one of the things that I noticed when I just put my feelers out there for what's going on, is you guys have a pretty serious social media following.
Louis does.
Yeah,
Louis
for
does.
real.
I swear to God, I'm gonna just chime in real quick, bro. I don't know why the fuck I'll be up at 4 a.m. watching fucking Louis just scrolling through, like, laughing my ass off in bed, like, god damn.
No, yeah, that shit definitely helped the music a lot, and that was the main focus when I started the social media shit, was the music. And then I got kind of lost in the sauce a bit, started like leaning into all these like things I was making fun of, and it gave me up a following, but now I'm trying to gear it. I got banned on TikTok and shit, so I'm trying to like.
It happens.
It happens.
We all remember when Louis sent like our group chat a message
Dude,
like,
yeah.
I think I'm gonna start a TikTok to try and promote my music. And we didn't think much of it. It was just like, all right, let's see how that goes.
A year
And
later,
dude,
he's
a
got
year later,
1.4
yeah.
million followers.
Yeah.
TikTok some bitches, though. I'm gonna just say
Yeah,
that.
fuck them. I hope they get banned. So. None of y'all could be on there.
He
That's
wants all the
right.
smoke. He want to smoke with TikTok.
Exactly.
Hey, didn't Josh have a big ass following on there too, and they fuck with his shit? I thought I saw.
I don't think Josh did.
Man,
I don't know.
maybe I'm thinking
Hey,
you
it's
guys
like-
had a big following, and then they just banned
Yeah,
it.
that was me. Yeah,
That's
that
trash.
I think Louis I mean, I know a couple kids I went to high school with who have like a couple 100,000 followers on TikTok. Like they're pretty decently like, for here big, but then you think about like in the vastness of like the whole internet, like, a couple 100,000 followers isn't shit basically.
Yeah.
But like Louis is the one where every time we go out, I'll jinx him. I'll be like, hey, I hope no one notices you this time, just fucking with him. And then like 5 seconds later, someone's like, oh my god, are you that guy? And it's like, I was like, no, the fuck, I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, you're thinking of someone else, but I definitely get a little tired of that. But it's the price you pay for putting yourself out there like that,
Mhm.
And I can't complain about it, but it definitely. What's annoying is when it's like group of, I see just like a horde of like 13-year-old kids coming at me, and I'm just like, oh fuck, here we go. And it's like, it's whatever though. It's pretty cool. It worked out for the music pretty well, so can't complain.
Yeah.
That's what's up. It's really the avenue that you have to use to promote the brand, the music, you know.
Yeah, you know, and that's like something I have a love-hate relationship with, is like having to, like, you know, people are so like focused and pushing, like, especially in the industry too, like you have to make content for your music, you have to make content, and I even tell these guys, because they don't do
shit.
They don't do any of it. I at least, like, when I drop a song, try to make like a TikTok or two, you know, a reel or two about it, but I'm like I kind of just want the music to speak for itself, you know. And it's like, I know in the industry now, like any up and coming artists, like I've heard like stories of the labels just basically like they're wanting them to focus more on making fucking TikToks and shit than making the music they want to make. And it's like, I
written
don't.
into their contracts now that
Yeah.
they have to promote their songs on TikTok and they have to make a certain number of videos about it. It's the whole thing.
And it's super draining. It should come naturally, you know, because sometimes it does. Sometimes I'm just like super psyched on a song I made, and I'm like, I want to like show this to my audience, show this to my following, and like I'll do that and it'll come off natural. And then it's like, if I drop a song and it's not doing well, I'll try to force like a video or two about it, and it's like, this isn't like coming natural, you know. I'm trying to like gain that like traction, get those views, and I should just be focusing on the music, you know. That's like what matters to me. So
That's what's up.
It's one thing too, like in that same vein of like, there's people who could be like amazing musicians, like could easily like Billboard top 100 type musicians, but they're shit at marketing. But then there's people who are master marketers that are garbage musicians. Like,
Facts.
I see that shit. I no, the internet's cool with that though. Like, especially like now, like, you know, meeting people, especially on the internet. I mean, that's how I met Louis. It's just like Instagram. And then we have our friend, you know, Juliet and Unsung Rex. We met them I met Juliet through Sam, Forest Green, but then we met Rex through SoundCloud. Now he's one of our really good friends. He's so dope. We got Tex in Australia.
Tex, Harlow Road.
Shout out Harlow Road.
Shout out Harlow Road over in Western Massachusetts. I found that fool when he had like 34 fucking followers on TikTok, and I was like, yo, we gotta make a song. And we made this song, Do All Cats Go to Heaven. And I think that shit's got like 5K on Spotify already. I dropped it like 2 weeks ago or something.
Oh,
so like, that one's like popping off right now. So shout out to him.
Harlow went from like 30, 40 monthly listeners, and like 3 weeks later I look at his stuff to listen to it, and he's got like 5K monthly listeners now. Like,
shit.
Dude's popping off.
Popping off like crazy. So it's crazy how the internet could bring people together. Like, if it weren't for, as much as I hate TikTok now, if it weren't for TikTok, I would never even know who that dude is, you know? It's like, shout out.
Hell yeah.
That's what's up. You know, it's really dope that people have the accessibility that they have nowadays with social media. That's one of the cool things for artists to be able to like have a direct, like, you know, your fans can DM you know, you don't always have to get back to them, but the people that you want to talk to and everything like that, you can touch them, and that's something for fans, you know.
No, I got people who like message me on Instagram and stuff like that, and then like I'll go out to the bar and like someone will be like, hey, like, you're that dude who made this song. I'm like, yeah, and they're like, I fucking love you, and they'll talk to me and stuff. So it's cool, like, people find my stuff online, but then like, you know, meet me in person and tell me about it, and that just like means a lot. It's like when I first started making music, it was like, no one's gonna fucking listen to this shit, and now like, you know, I've grown as an artist, gotten better, and people are starting to fuck with it. And so it's like really dope to see that like evolution.
It's especially cool hearing from producers and you know, like visual artists who want to do cover art, things like that are like, you know, directly related to your music and that want to like collaborate too, as opposed to just like a fan where they're like, listen to these beats I made in your style. Like, that's been really cool for sure.
That's the progression of it, you know.
Or like, hey, there's no one local making stuff like this, but these are the types of beats I make. Like, I want you on this.
Yeah.
So people are hitting y'all with cemetery boy type beats now,
Yeah.
huh?
I don't got a Not Louis type beat yet, but I know Ben and Payne has a Ben and Payne type beat.
Garbage Ben and Payne's a solid 200 views on YouTube.
So I have these questions for each one of y'all because, y'all, I really listen to y'all. I really fuck with y'all. So I told David I want to sit in because this is one I really want to be on. But I'm just going to break it down to my favorite songs, and I just kind of want to ask you guys. So we'll start. Luke, where were you, like when you made, what's the new one, Never Falter?
Never Falter, fuck, so...
Because I love that one.
So shout out, thank you. Shout out 99 Drowntown. He's like a local producer, Witch House producer.
Makes fire clothes.
Makes fire clothes too. He is literally in high school still, like young ass kid, making these beats. Like I don't know anyone else in Humboldt like making beats like that. And he's been a fan of mine for a long time. I ran into him at a thrift store one day. And like I complimented him on his clothes, and then he was like, "Yo, like I want to, produce for you, do shit like that for you." And I started like shooting him like sample ideas and shit like that. And he made the beat for Never Falter. It samples a song called "Stranger" by Ruby Haunt. It's this like shoegaze band that I'm really into. I know Osha, when he used to produce, he sampled them a little bit for our song "Mad for You." And he made this beat, and I just was like, I was sitting on it. I think I recorded it. I dropped it in January, but I recorded that shit back in like July or August of 2022. And I don't know how many fucking times I mixed that thing differently, like trying to get the right vocal mix down.
I think I mixed it for you a few times.
You mixed it for me a few times, wasn't feeling it. I sent it to a homie that mixes vocals, and he tried to mix it, wasn't feeling that. And then finally I was just like, one day I sat down and I fucking mixed the shit. And yeah, it's just like, that song is like, I don't like explaining my lyrics a lot, but that song is about kind of like not wanting to like basically not wanting to like die in Humboldt or some shit. I talk about like rusty needles scattered on the pavement and shit. Like, I just like, fuck, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Just like, it's like I don't want to like lose myself, trying to make it out of Humboldt, but I also don't want to like die in Humboldt. I don't want to like, I do want to make it out and shit. And that's what that song's really about. It's like wanting to make it out and wanting to like get out of here, and like never falter, like like stay strong and shit like that. So
I'm telling you, bro, when I heard that song, I like messaged you when I seen the video. Yeah. Cause I watched the video, watched it over, and then I heard the song, and I was like, bro, like this shit's hitting. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm going through some shit. This shit hits right here.
Filming that video is dope.
Yeah, I was about to give the backstory on that video. So we went out to this like abandoned, we call it a ghost town, but it's like more of a commune.
It's like 4 or 5 houses that I found in high school that like I used to take photos at.
Yeah, it's like this little commune in the Avenue of the Giants, like farmhouse and shit. And I really wanted to like record in somewhere that just was like broken down and kind of depressing. So we went out there, but it actually like the experience was the exact opposite of depressing. I fucking did mushrooms for the first time out there and shit. It was like just tripping balls while filming this music video.
Yeah,
so
it looked fun. I pay attention.
Yeah.
So we're gonna scoot on over. My favorite one, 15 minutes. And by the way, that cover is crazy, bro. I love that cover.
I'm trying to remember what the cover is.
You shooting your foot off with a shotgun, bro.
Oh, yeah, okay. The album cover. Yeah, my friend Jose, he's been drawing for a long time, and I like getting like custom artwork. And I hit him up, and I asked him to do like a picture of me shooting myself in the foot, and I wasn't expecting, like very accurate representation. I was like, oh shit, that really like captures me. Yeah.
But I really like that song off that project. That 15 minutes. You want to give me a little, touch down on where you kind of were mentally when that.
Yeah. Man, I don't know how to describe that one. That's
Cause I love like the whole melody, the whole thing about it. That's
sure.
that's what draws me in. Like that's when I heard that one. It's like middle of the tape kind of. I was like, bro, this is like my favorite off that project.
Yeah. I've just been trying with my sound to go in more like Louis brought up, like this hyper pop, like get in with more of this electronic production and influences from other subgenres. Because I think we all started listening to a lot more like straight hip hop, straight rap. I definitely know me and Louie grew up listening to a lot of rap, and so I think over time we've sort of like started branching into all these different areas and different styles,
which is such a
so,
hip hop thing to do still.
Right, for sure. And that's like at its core, there's always still, you know, the trap drums and the 808s and that influence and the sampling. That's always there, and that's always gonna be there. And so it's hard sometimes to even call it rap anymore, but it still is at its core.
Yeah, there's still elements of there. Yeah.
Like that's always gonna be there, that foundation. So it's cool to
so
like.
you was just experimenting kind of with that whole sound. And
For sure.
Yeah, bro. I fuck with that. And Mr. Benny, my favorite one.
Tyro.
Adderall, bro.
Adderall.
Adderall. I don't know if you see me at the first cemetery. I was like over there jumping up and down. I was singing that one. Yeah.
Well, Adderall. Damn. I think I was just talking about like, you know, having problems with like mental illness and stuff like that. Especially like ADHD, ADD, stuff like that, you know. Just kind of that feeling of being way too geeked out.
It kind of makes you sound. It makes you feel that way when you hear that, you know. And I like that shit.
And I've recorded that song on like 3 different beats, and then randomly I found this one, and it turned out it's like that. It's like I wrote the lyrics for that song.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear that. I had the lyrics already written out, and I just kind of like rambling over. I was like, oh shit, this is sick. But yeah, no, that one. I think I recorded that in like 30 minutes, edited in like an hour, and was just like, holy shit, this is crazy. But yeah, it's like definitely like feeling about like my brain's going a million miles an hour 24/7. You know, Adderall can have one of 2 effects on me. It's like either I'm gonna slow down a little bit and be able to focus, or I'm gonna fucking like just start geeking out even more.
Yeah. I heard that one. It's like right away, I'm like, I love this song. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you guys see me out in the crowd, but I'll be jumping up and down. I'm loving it.
That was a really fun one.
That's my favorite song of his too.
Yeah.
I got one for you too. Louis? What's your favorite song of yours?
My favorite song of mine, probably like off of Orca. Like I was gonna bring y'all a CD. I was gonna bring y'all my album, and I completely forgot. Off of Orca, like definitely Trench Shot with Me Spirit. That one was like really fire. I remember like me and Corey had this little like synth melody that we were trying to put on one song, and it wasn't working. And I was like, man, like I'm really like attached to that melody. Like let's make a beat with it. And he cooked up a beat probably in like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then I hopped on it like really quick and recorded that whole song in like 15 minutes. So that one like definitely was like one that was like, okay, this one's special. And then Bunku, the like closing track on my album, it's like this really, it's a ballad basically, and it's about like it's like a kind of like a letter to my dead dog. Shout out. It's like a letter to my dog, but it's kind of like, you don't know it's about my dog until I say it. Like it could be about a person, it could be about anything. And what that one's supposed to represent is just like, my dog was like the last like piece of my childhood I had, and he died when I think I was like 18. So then like that was like, okay, like the last like piece of my childhood is like gone. So that one meant a lot to me. And probably like more recently, like Vane.
Fucking thing on the. This bums the shit out of me. But yeah, Vane.
Vane, like, I don't know, the cloud rap influence in that one is like really, like, I don't know. I just wanted to make something with like this like sick melody that was just like talking my shit, and that's what came out of that one. I honestly, I like all my music, but at the same time, I'm also like hypercritical of like everything I
think that's every artist.
Yeah.
I realize I go into a rabbit hole and like pick one, and you're like, all right, this one.
Yeah, exactly. Because like I like all of them. You know, like every song has like a different meaning to me. But it's like I'm also like, oh, like in this one, like my fucking voice sounds like shit, or like you know, this could be better, that could be better. And I think that just like thanks, bro.
No, trust me, you left and I'm sitting here fucking with it.
But yeah, I'm definitely like super hypercritical of like all my shit, and I know we all are. I know we talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I fucked up with that question.
Yeah.
It's good though to have a team that's always helping you raise the bar.
Yeah, no, I like because I get super critical. We all get super critical about ourselves, and so sometimes we'll have something and we're like, "This is garbage," and then they listen to it and they're like, "No, drop this right now. What are you doing?"
Dude, I mean, you guys made me realize, like, I could, like, actually perform on stage, because they kind of pressured me into it. Like, they're like, you have to, like, you just have to do this. And I kept being weird about it, not wanting to, getting in my head. And yeah, they just kept hyping me up and were like, your shit is good, just keep putting it out, you know? And it really took that for me to, like, realize I can do this. Yeah.
That's dope.
For sure. And
It's
like
like
collabs really brought out the best in me too.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to like fuck up someone else's track. So I like, you know, really go all out on the verses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That kind of reminds me. We just had an episode with, you guys know Rowdy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That
shout
episode
out
dropped. Yeah, shout out Rowdy. He's dope. He's got a bunch of shows coming up. Just did the Fat Bowl Cypher. He's going to be at the show on the 31st, the Albert Presents show. And also he's going to be at the show, the Highway and Rude album release party at the ATL on April 14th. So that's going to be dope. So folks are going to have opportunities to go see Rowdy. But he was saying the same thing as you, where he just said a similar story. He was like, you know, he was saying how he was, you know, not really wanting to, he wasn't sure if he was going to, you know, perform and do it in front of people.
For sure.
And then it was Zach Laner, who was, you know, like, look, just do it, man, just do it. And Rowdy was like, he said, all right, I'm just going to do it for him. And then look where he is now.
Yeah. It changes your life just that one moment.
It's
Like,
addicting. Like
Yeah.
my first show was in LA. Like no one knew who the fuck I was. Went down there with a friend who was like doing a show, and he's like, "Yo, come do it." And we do it, and I sat there, you know, arm in my hand, just shaking, and it was horrible. I felt like shit afterwards, but like then when the conversation of another show got brought up, I was like, yeah, I'm down to do it. And like it's like even though that first one, like I felt like it sucked all this, like, you know, it was just this addicting feeling of adrenaline that you get, and now we go up on stage and it's like I don't think I'll ever be able to let go of that feeling. That shit's sick.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's compared to like jumping off like a cliff into like a river or something. You know, it's gonna look scary from up there, but when you do it, it's done. Like you know, and it feels good. You felt good. Yeah, you survived. You felt good about it. You know,
that adrenaline.
Yeah. And speaking of, so we're gonna be on shows. Go back to the show thing. So like, I how important do you guys feel like keeping the shows like tight knit with you three? You know.
Yeah, that's like something like all love to like all the other like local acts around here, but we're very like focused now on like our shows being like our shit, you know, like just us. And not to say like we're not open to doing shows with other people, it's just kind of like we all have a cohesive sound, even though we do all make different shit. Like we have a cohesive sound, and like we want to, you know, keep that momentum and keep a certain vibe with the shows we got. Because like, you know, with this last show especially, it was very like validating, like, okay, we could do this, like us three, you know.
Yeah.
It's like we don't need an opener or another name to like bring people in. It's just like that was definitely something that I was like worried about and had anxiety about, and it was super validating seeing like the payoff and seeing the crowd that we were able to pull just with
It's a
three of
unique
us.
crowd too. For
Yeah.
sure. Like we definitely got like the alternative goth night type people coming out, and yeah, it's different and it's our own, and
Yeah, man. I'm
Yeah,
gonna say
it's
y'all
fun.
got all the cute goth girls over there. I was gonna say that right there and then, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
No, but that's what I think I tell like all these like artists and stuff, because I've been doing shows since I was 18. I'm 29 now, you know, so I've been doing shows for a minute. But how it was for me coming up, it was like I had to basically pay to play or sell tickets to play, and it's like at the end of the day, you already gave up $1,500 you work for. And so like what I try to tell artists is like what you guys are doing is like that $15 y'all could have made somebody else. Y'all could just put it up for your own show. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And that's one thing that's really dope about up here too is like yeah, we were talking about it earlier before the podcast started. We've paid out of pocket to do shows where people show up for free. We're losing money, but like, you know, we didn't have to do that. We did it because we liked the venue so much, and now we're making, you know, some money off the shows to, you know, fund the next show after that and buy the merch and stuff like that. But especially in Humboldt, like, there's so many spots that you can do a show for free, and it's like so accessible. Like you could, if you have access to a generator and a speaker and a couple mics, you can go out into the fucking woods if you wanted to and do a show, which is like one thing we want to try and do at some point, or do like abandoned house, or like, you know, the tunnel out on Samoa or something like that. Some crazy shit. Like you don't got to do these venues and stuff like that.
Yeah, to pull like a good show, to do a good show, like you could just do it, you know, it's super sick.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna say that. I've been enjoying watching y'all because, from, like I said, outside looking in, I started coming to the Rampart events, and I didn't know there was the Cemetery Boys because I seen each one of you guys individually, you know, like I seen Louis pull up, and I'm like, damn, this was dope. And I was like, oh, you know, see Ben later on that night. I'm like, damn, who's this kid with this crazy head jumping around, you know? And I seen you come out too. I'm like, wait, first of all, this one got a dope style. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so now, like, hearing the whole story, it's like, you know, it's really dope. Like, where, you know, what do you guys think, you know, what are you guys' direction, you know, from here? Do you guys just going to keep throwing shows? Y'all going to keep rocking Humboldt, trying to move it out of Humboldt?
I mean, I feel like we'll never lose, like, especially like me and Louis growing, like born and raised in Humboldt, we'll never lose Humboldt. I always miss it every time I leave, but then as soon as I come back, I'm like, fuck, I hate this place. Like,
yeah, for real.
It's like one of those, like, yeah, I'll like go somewhere and be like, damn, it's not green 24/7. Like, fucking just stupid, like small shit like that. But like, I think the biggest next step for all of us is like, we do want to get out of Humboldt. And maybe that doesn't mean we move out. That just means we branch out and start doing shows outside the area, gaining more of a fan base.
Yeah.
Like,
just try to go down to the Bay Area, do a show,
So,
go down to LA.
like, I've been trying to get one in like Portland or something. I know some fools up there, so like trying to get something going up there.
We've been loosely planning a mini West Coast tour because like we know, like, you know, you can look at your analytics and where you're being listened to the most and stuff like that, and it's like, oh, we could hit Seattle, Portland, hit the ATL or something here, then go to the Bay, and then do like LA. And it's like boom, boom, boom. There's 1 week that we spend in a fucking rental RV or some shit. And do that.
Hell yeah.
It's tough too, because here, like, obviously we'd like to go to a bigger venue like ATL or something, but also they kind of have their own predetermined set of artists, types of artists they want to work with, and I think our style maybe not really their thing.
I wouldn't say that yet, though. I wouldn't say that yet.
Yeah.
We're slowly working our way there. Like, we definitely, like, that's another reason we don't do, like, we're not trying to do more shows with, like, too many other people. We have a few set friends who, like, you know, can mix their way in with us, but it's, like, there's just not too many other people who are doing this shit. Like, you know, if we were a punk band, dude, there's punk bands all over Arcadia, all over, like, Humboldt. If we were doing hip-hop, there's hip-hop artists everywhere, but it's, like, people who are doing, like, you know, the hyper pop, or like Louis doing the Witch House and stuff like that. It's like there's just not too many other people doing it, and I didn't realize that until I did like this little interview on the college campus, and they were like, so how's it feel to like just be like, you know, pioneering this sound in Humboldt? And it's like, what? Like, all right.
Yeah, because I pay attention to hyperpop, so like it's still in this like weird zone where it's like you tell people like you listen to hyperpop, and they're like, what is that?
Yeah, people are like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. No, it's, you know, that's the cool thing too, is like it's such a new genre that it's like it doesn't really have its own set subgenres yet. You know, metal music has fucking millions of different subgenres under just that umbrella statement.
They all got a name.
Rap has, you know, hip hop has an umbrella statement for all these different subgenres. Hyperpop is still kind of just hyperpop, but then you go and listen to like all these different artists who are like starting to make it big. You got like Hunter Gex or Glaive or Breakins or, you know, Veo or OS Quinn or all these different people who are basically just started out as kids, you know, like us, making music in their rooms, posting it online, and people are like, oh shit, this is dope. Like, there's all these different sounds, but there isn't a name for those yet. And so it's like, for us, it's like maybe we can pave our own little corner into there and have our own little like subset of like what we're doing, you know.
It's cool to provide that too if nobody else locally is doing that sort of music live, and there are people who want to hear it. And like Ben said, we didn't really realize like we were gonna be the only people really trying to do that here.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the move, bro, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely, and it gives us like our own avenue, because you know there's like we were saying, there's like hundreds of punk artists here, hundreds of hip hop artists, but it's like I could I think we're the only ones doing the music that we make here. I don't really know any other artists around here that are doing
Definitely
that.
want to like capitalize on that.
Yeah,
You know, in the future, if there are other artists trying to do that, they're gonna want to get shows with us and hit us up because they know like we're the established group doing that sort of thing. Yeah,
exactly.
for sure.
No, I want to monopolize the hyperpop.
Yeah.
No one else can do it around here.
That's what's up, fellas. So one of the things Albert and I were talking about was we heard that Louis is a connoisseur, so we were trying to throw some questions Louis' way. You know what I mean? Did you have some, Albert, before I drop a couple of mine?
Oh, well, as far as
Any kind of, I don't know.
Lou,
Are we
talking
talking
about
like hip hop trivia?
Okay,
Like,
no.
direction or
No, I'm just going. I'm going off
Okay.
this
Okay.
little real quick Instagram combo we had over Chief Keef one day. We were just kind of throwing back our songs back and forth. But what was some of your favorite Chief Keef songs? I want to say mine was Sicko. I told you mine's Sicko.
I like the no leak or the fuck is it just the leak or no leak? I think it's just the leak. Series of mixtapes he has. And then like the Back from the Dead ones too. Just the real like gritty trap shit. Like I grew up on that. Grew up on like Lil Wayne and you know Chief Keef, Gucci Mane, shit like that. So that definitely like has some influence in like who I am as an artist. I'm working on a mixtape right now that's like very much like old like trap shit, like 2013 fucking like trap beats and shit. So I've been working on that. And yeah, Chief Keef though, like him like and Young Lean, I think are the two artists in my opinion that like kind of molded this like new generation of artists. Like those two guys, like I don't think we would be talking about half the dudes that are in the mainstream right now if it weren't for them, you know. They really like molded these artists. And even going farther back, like I said, like for the generation that they're in, like I think like Lil Wayne was the guy that like molded them. And that's where that was like why I started making music was Lil Wayne. I heard the Carter 3 back when I was like a little 7-year-old kid. Like I started writing raps when I was like 7 or 8 years old. And it was because I heard the Carter 3 and then, you know, the Carter 4 dropped a couple years later. And like that was my shit growing up. So like, yeah, those are like definitely my biggest influences when it comes to my music. And now like finding new music, you know, the hyperpop shit, like just in like fusing all of that together is like super dope.
Hell yeah! So Young Lean, bro, I'm a big Young Lean fan.
Yeah.
And one of the times I found out about you was, of course, I seen you at the shows. But then I was talking to Josh one day. I love you, Josh, and like he's like, "What are some of your favorite?" And I dropped Young Lean. You know, I was like, "Oh, I love Young Lean." He's like, "You should talk to Louis." He's like, he loves Young Lean.
Yeah,
So
that's like my guy. Like he's definitely like the artist. Like I don't like, you know, like want to like hype myself up too much and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna work with all these. That was just my phone, no big deal. I don't want to like hype myself up too much and be like, oh, I'm gonna work with all these like big artists one day and blah blah blah. But like Young Lean is definitely the one where like someday like I gotta work with him.
It could happen,
like,
bro. It's gonna happen, bro.
Yeah, manifestation.
Yeah, it could happen.
Don't know any way to contact the guy, but I'm manifesting it.
It
for
could
sure.
happen, bro. It could happen.
Like Young Lean, Blade, all them like super influenced, especially with my newer shit. You could like really tell. And like I'm not like shy about my influences. Like some people get very like sore when you say like, oh, this sounds like this, you know, like, you know, I started making shit like on SoundCloud that just sounded like blatant like Lil Peep clone music, you know, and people would call me a Lil Peep clone. And it was like, yeah, like it probably was a little like clone-like, but it's like that was my influence. And like same with Young Lean, it's like that's my influence and that's someone that I like hella look up to. So obviously I'm gonna be inspired and I'm gonna want to make shit that sounds like that. But I think I've gotten a little bit better about like making shit that sounds like that, but it also has my own like flair and sounds like my own thing, you know?
Yeah. That's the thing about, you know, about being an artist, you know, it's like you find your influences, but you find your way to put yourself in there.
Exactly. Like same with like the Chief Keef shit. Like I'm hella inspired by him, but like I can't be making music about like being in Chirac and fucking like toting guns and like
drill Louis
slinging
over
dope
here.
and shit. Like I've never done any of that, so it's like fuck, I gotta find a way to make it like about myself and shit, you know?
Yeah. You gotta set yourself in that, you know?
Yeah.
That sound, basically. So you did, so you said Young Lean, Chief Keef. So you introduced me to this artist that kind of has,
Oh, God.
that sounds a lot like has all of them. And this motherfucker, yeah, bro. I heard that shit. Bro. So when I heard that shit, it literally reminded me of Chief Keef with fucking Young Lean, bro. Because I'm like hearing it, he like has those like gritty vocals, but it's like all stretched out.
Yeah, the thing about Cemetery is like I get like the clone comments about him too, because like you got all these like little like 13-year-old, 14-year-old kids now making music that sounds just like him, and it's like people hating on it, but it's like fuck, like when I was like that age, I was making shit that sounded just like Lil Peep and just like Chief Keef and shit. So it's like, yeah, but Cemetery, where I like hella resonate with him, is his shit's like all like, oh, in the woods, like, you know, like in the woods and shit. And it's like living in Humboldt, like I hella resonated with that. Just like being in the woods, being kind of like white trash and shit, like was hella inspiring for me, you know, because like I never seen someone take that shit that like I thought was like embarrassing and shit and like turn it into an aesthetic.
Most people would just pretend that they're in, you know, some urban atmosphere, like that's what they grew up in, and just make it up. And it's like, you know, he's not. He grew up in the fucking like countryside.
Yeah.
So he's just gonna talk about that.
And he makes it fucking dope. And like I definitely like I will say I have been like inspired by him too, you know, because it's like kind of like taught me to like own that shit basically and just like not like shy away from it and stuff. So that was like finding him was super dope and hella resonated with that too. And I know he's like he's like hella inspired by like Chief Keef and shit too.
Yeah, when I heard that, it was just I love music where I have to adjust my ears, you know.
Yeah.
And that's why I fuck with y'all too, because like you hear, you know, you kind of gotta like adjust a little bit, be like, okay, what am I listening to here? Then you listen to it again, and then by the time you know, you're like, damn, I listened to this shit like 20 times, you know. I fuck with that. So what about you? You got any music? Well, so who are some of your favorite people that you fuck with?
Yeah. Originally Kanye with 808s and Heartbreak.
Okay,
like that was like I think that was
you.
like the whole blueprint for the melodic emo rap type shit.
Controversial.
Yeah. I never heard anything like that.
That controversial.
Yeah, just rap that was he was really in his feelings, you know, and just doing weird stuff on the production end. Crazy heavy auto-tune.
So me and David talked about this last time on our podcast, and I was like, okay, so when 808s and Heartbreaks came out, that was like a split between like hip hop heads, you know, like it was like you were on the the young cats were listening to Kanye and would get clowned by like the older cats, but why you listen to that auto-tune shit? Mm-hmm. So it's obviously you fell into the side of like that Kanye style, right?
For sure.
Like
him and T-Pain were like just going out doing this weird thing, and I don't know, I don't think it like caught on immediately, and I feel like way after the fact, like mid 2010s, that sound started to get really big on SoundCloud, and then you had like the Lil Peep era, really sort of embracing that. For sure.
Yeah. What about you, Danny?
Fuck. I mean, I grew up like a metalhead, definitely. Like my dad always listened to metal and stuff like that. And so it's weird to say I'm like inspired by that, and then you listen to my music, and it's like kind of hard to draw the lines between those. But like, I don't know, a lot of like Pantera, Metallica, stuff like that, Slayer, and then I got like my favorite band of all time is Slipknot, and I just love the way that like Corey Taylor, the frontman, carries himself, the way he can go from like, you know, this gritty hard singing. Like I even used to do the like scream rap, yelling shit, and I was trying to be like Corey Taylor kind of.
Bro, Corey Taylor's he be dropping bars, bro. The Slipknot had a DJ up there, bro.
Yeah, they like, you know, that whole new metal subgenre where, you know, they're mixing rap influences and like electronic influences in with this metal, and it's that same thing with like you're saying like with Kanye, like old heads were like, fuck this shit. Like old metalheads were like, this is fucking garbage, this is dad rock, what is this? And it's like, you know, now if you listen to modern day metal, dude, they always have someone up there spinning or something like that. They got a sample in there somewhere. More recently though, especially with like the hyper pop stuff that I've been doing, like heavily inspired by like break-ins. Like if you listen to break-ins and then you listen to me, you'll go, "Oh, this kid's I'm still figuring it out. I might take a few things here and there, but you know, fucking, that's just how it works."
You just setting yourself in that seat where you're carving yourself in that sound. You feel me?
No, but like break-ins, Veo. You know, I'm heavily inspired by these two. Fucking. Yeah, just a lot of shit like that, and then I just fuck around. I just like try to inspire myself by like doing stuff that like might sound weird at first, and then it comes out and I'm like, oh, this is kind of dope. Like,
yeah,
it sounds kind of sick or whatever, you know. So
yeah.
I don't really know. It's hard to pinpoint like, you know, even just a couple artists that are like inspiring, just because I like so many different kinds of music. But
hell yeah. And sometimes it's better to like come into something like blind like that, you know, where it's just like I don't have any other like to pull from anywhere, you know. Just, but I'm coming, you know. That's pretty dope, bro. See, so you know what I'm saying, you guys got this like mixing pot of sounds, you know what I'm saying, and especially with each one of you guys having your own different influences, like how y'all feel that serves the Cemetery Boys, like in the end, you know, like
shit, like we definitely like. I think it's becoming a little more natural and a little easier, but for a second there definitely I think was a struggle for all of us to like make a song that like we were all digging or like we all like wanted to that all had influences that like, you know, we liked and shit, but like we have this song I Can't that we had for fucking ever. It's like total like hyper pop song and still haven't dropped it or anything. It's kind of fucked up, but we got that one, and like that's definitely a cohesive sound I think we want to roll with. And then I brought up my song Trench Shot earlier. I'm making a part 2 to that song, very much like Witch House cloud rap influence, and trying to get them on it too. And like we're kind of like jumping around looking for producers right now to like make a cohesive sound for all of us.
I think that's been the hardest part. Like a lot of us are used to just going online and finding tight beats and sifting through all these dudes on YouTube and, you know, like trying to find stuff that works for all of us. That's been tough, especially like, you know, having it made for us and not just taking someone's beat. You know?
Yeah.
It's limiting on like, you may have like the sound, you may have a song in your head and know exactly how you want it to sound, but like, you know, I don't have the production know-how to sit down and make a hyperpop beat, but I can like write the lyrics. And so like, you know, I was saying, like I might have a song stuck in my head that I want to record, and then I'm sifting through YouTube for 5 hours and I can't find a beat that's going to work with. And it's like, damn, I got to scrap this song or wait until someone has a similar idea and drops it. And it's like, you know, that's probably, the biggest hurdle we have. We want to be able to like find someone who we can come and talk to, tell them our lyrics, tell them what we want it to sound like, they cook it up, and then, you know, we're able to fucking make that song.
Yeah, we need a very like specific type of producer. I think that like, that is branching into electronic and these other things that are really difficult to master, and that sort of go beyond just, you know, flipping a sample and adding some drums or whatever, getting into some really technical, difficult stuff to make. So
basically what we're getting at is we're hiring. we're recruiting right now, so that's definitely on the, like, Cemetery Boys is probably always going to stay just us three, but we definitely want to bring someone in to be like a producer at some point, you know, just because it would make it so much more like efficient to just be like, yo, like we all like come up with an idea and then go to them and be like, yo, we have like this idea to make like this song, you know. And so that's been the biggest hurdle, like we've all said, but we're getting through it. I think that it's as we've been going on, like we've been like almost a year now back with Cemetery Boys, and I think it's by the day we're like getting better at like all making something together, and
hopefully soon have like a project together where all the songs have all three of us. It's tough though because we all got started in our bedroom alone, and that's what we're used to, that whole mentality of just grinding something out by yourself, and you're the only one there to judge it and to work on it, and it's weird bridging the gap. Like I think we all struggle with that. Trying to like match each other's vocal production styles. Sometimes like that's the biggest thing with the one song we do have more recently, is that all of our vocals are in a totally different place on the beat, and some of it sticks through and some of it gets buried, and it's just a weird clash, I guess.
As time passes, you guys will dial that.
Yeah,
For sure, that's really been the only struggle I think we've had when it comes to like doing shows together, all that shit. Like we click like really well. It's just like getting the sound down has been like the biggest thing.
I mean, it would make sense because you guys are paving a lane, so that's, I mean, you guys are at the forefront of creativity, and so there's I don't want to say like there's a lot of pressure with that, but I bet it's a lot of pressure that you guys are putting on yourself to make sure the sound is what you want.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
We work on songs like for so fucking long. Like Louis had an album done basically for like a year, and he was still tinkering with it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we all have songs that we sit there and work on for months. And that goes back to what I was saying, where sometimes like I'll be like, oh, I fucking hate this song, I've been working on it, and then they're like, dude, what the fuck's wrong with you? Basically, drop it, it's done, it's been done.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, you know, on one hand, like we push each other to work on stuff to get it as crispy as possible, but then we also, you know when to tell each other to stop, basically. And so that's like the best part about working with your friends and stuff is like we aren't just like, yeah, we met with music and stuff, but like, you know, it's obviously more than that. We're all homies, and so it's like.
And I think that's important too. Yeah, it's like to have people that like will keep you grounded too, and aren't just like yes men and being like, oh yeah, do that. You know, like steering you in the wrong direction. You know, we're all able to like keep each other grounded and, you know, give each other like actual feedback and not just like a thumbs up, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is important.
Yeah, for surely.
Yeah, and you know, you guys, you can definitely feel it. You know, when I see you guys on stage, you guys definitely click well on stage. You know, when you guys are off stage, like it's just, you guys move as a unit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I almost wore my goddamn camo pants in here for y'all, bro. Shit.
Yeah, no, we were making jokes about that. Our first show at Siren Slums, we were all, you know,
In
it was our
uniform.
first time making merch, so we're all wearing the shirts, and then me and Louis didn't realize we show up in camo pants, and we're like, shit, we should go get Ocean some camo pants. This will just be the uniform. Like.
Yeah. But I think that all having our own style, like visually, like aesthetically too, very much speaks to the music too. You know, I don't want us to all like dress the same on some haunted noun shit.
We're not a fucking boy band.
Yeah, exactly. We're a collective. We're a loose collective at that. Like I don't think anyone's like a leader of the collective. It's just three homies making shit together.
Yeah.
You know, we're all dropping on our own schedules. We're all like making shit on our own time, and then we get together and we also make shit.
I don't think we had ever seen anything like that until Goth Boy Clique, or there were Schema Posse and then Goth Boy Clique, and they had all these different artists and they're all sort of doing their own thing, but then they come together for their shows and it just works. And, I don't know, that was more appealing than like a band, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's the way to go, really.
It's closer to like, I mean, like I say record label, but we don't have a record label. You know, it's like Cemetery Boys is just this overhead name, and then, you know, there's us under. It's not like we're just a group who only does music together, and like we're only gonna do shows together and stuff.
And only collab with each other too. Like we all have homies we work with that have no connection to Cemetery Boys, or very loose connection to Cemetery Boys. So yeah.
It's really dope to have that space to be able to do your creativity how you guys want to. That's useful, yeah.
For surely.
Especially when you guys are like, you know, like I said, like pioneering a lane and a sound like that. Like you gotta have your space to be creative, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Like I think like if we were all like doing, you know, trying to do the same exact thing, we'd lose a lot of that creativity. You know, if we're all trying to like all of us make the same music, sound exactly the same, I think it would lose a lot of the sparkle, a lot of the like what makes us special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a recipe isn't just salt. You know, you gotta have the pepper, you gotta have, you know what I'm saying, you gotta have the oregano, all the different things. It's exactly what y'all bringing to the table, you know? Exactly what y'all bringing.
One of us will disappear for a few weeks and then come back with a bunch of new shit. We're like, oh man, I gotta hop on that. Yeah. Like, what have you been up to?
Yeah, mainly you. Yeah.
Oh, she'll disappear and come back with an album like, hey, what do you guys think?
And I love that. I wouldn't want it like any other way, really. Yeah.
Yeah. So You really, I mean, I talk to these guys every time I'm out, you know.
Mhm.
Me and you really haven't had that much conversation. So
Yeah.
like, I'm finding out you the deadly weapon right now, bro. You the secret weapon, huh?
I've been in the background for a bit, you know. I mean, these guys, when I moved away, like, yeah, they had done one show at Rampart,
Yeah.
and then, yeah, they did another one when I showed up, and yeah, like, kind of, we're just like, you gotta get on stage, you gotta do it. And I did it, and I was like, man, I like bombed, and but I don't know, yeah, like Ben said, just wanting to do it again, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
So if you don't mind me asking, where'd you move to?
So I grew up in New Mexico,
Uh-huh.
and then yeah, I spent a couple of years here, and then moved back. I was in Albuquerque for a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Hell yeah. So do you think like you picked up some like influences out there, whatever type of music, whatever scene they be got going on out there?
I don't know, almost the opposite. Like there was nothing like that going on. I didn't know anyone interested in that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I definitely missed that when I left. And that was around the time where we were like, Cemetery Boys is done. Like we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
And then I would still work on music with Louie, like, you know, 1,000 miles away, sending each other shit. I don't know. Yeah, well, when I came back, it just felt right. That we, like,
it's funny how
really
like
solidify.
places like that, like where you don't have much, like, you know, to like you said, instead of like making up this like whole image of what we talk, you know, it's like it kind of really makes you want like when you have the bare bones, it makes you really work for whatever you really want, that sound that you want, which creates your own little shit,
I
right?
resonate with that, like, hella, like, you know, these guys, like, not even to say that now we all have, like, professional recording equipment, it's still just, like, the classic, you know, we got a Mac or whatever, and then you sit there and, you know, with your microphone in your room, but, like, you know, before, like, I tell people if they know what it is, an 8-track, that's, like, what I started on. Like, I have 8 knobs, and I have an EQ and a reverb button, and that's all I had, and I was making songs and shit like that, and so, like, it's one thing my dad always told me. He's like, yo, we don't got the money to buy you this, like, $10,000 in recording equipment, but if you can use this $2,000 in recording equipment and make the best out of that, we'll see what can happen in the future, basically.
Exactly,
and so I saved money and was able to finally buy myself a setup, and, like, the sound changed at that point. I was able to make what I finally wanted to. I felt like I'd, like, mastered the, like, the limits that were put on me with the equipment that I had at the time, and yeah, it's sick.
Yeah. It's like, you know, you have the bare bones and you're forced to create what you guys are now. You know what I'm saying? Each one of y'all has your own little struggles, and it, you know, it's coming together now.
Yeah, still struggling, still can't mix for shit, but I'm learning.
It's coming together, bro, and that's that's a part of the journey. You know, it's like you can't look at the destination too much. You know.
Yeah, exactly. You just gotta focus on what's ahead and
Exactly.
shit.
Right.
And mixing is not easy.
No,
No,
it's
dude,
not.
that's the hardest part.
It's really, I like fucking almost broken my computer trying to like EQ a track and just like get the fucking nuttiness out of my vocals and shit.
Yeah. When you have a vision and you just want to get it out there and you can't, and it doesn't sound the way you want it to, it's hell.
It's defeating for sure.
Yeah, that's why I just pay motherfuckers to do that these days, bro.
Shout out to Juice and the Juice Box down there. You know,
yeah.
Because he will get anybody that steps in the Juice Box. He's gonna get your sound dialed.
Providing valuable service, much needed here for sure. I mean, that's what we turned to Corey for, is like a recording space, an engineer, and someone who really knows that. And only now do I feel like the music I make without outside help actually sounds the way I want it to sound. But it took years and years and wanting to give up for sure.
But that's I know that's a good feeling though, when you feel like you now have control of your sound.
Yeah, I don't need to rely on anyone to get it where it needs to be.
It's the point that I feel like I've gotten to. Like I've never gone to anyone to mix any of my stuff. I mean, I got one song that's mixed by Garrett. Shout out Dead in Paris. Dude's fucking killing it, working in Big Head Studio. He's got a song he produced with Big Head for 03 Greedo. Shit's fire. Listen to that shit.
Yeah.
Was it that fucking Never Let Back? Yeah, I love that
Dude,
song.
that
Back
song's
like I
so
never
fire.
left.
No, he produced one. He like mixed her. He was like my recording engineer and stuff, and then he mixed it for me. One More Night. It's like the pop punk song that I kind of got on Spotify and SoundCloud, and that's like the only one that I've really had like too much outside influence. Like everything else has just been me sitting there for hours figuring it out, and definitely still figuring it out. You know, I just dropped an EP. It's out on Spotify. Anything that you can find music on except SoundCloud because I'm lazy and I forgot to post it. But you know, like there's songs on that I still don't think are done. There's like I'm gonna re-upload that EP just because I'm like, fuck, this sounds like shit. The bass is distorted too much on one, you know.
Vertigo.
Yeah,
that fucking jump scared me when I listened to it for the first time.
Yeah,
It was just like,
I didn't notice.
If you listen to the EP just skip that one for now. Give me a week.
it's a fire song.
Well, now I'm gonna pay attention to it when I
Yeah.
listen to it next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember where I was going.
Yeah, no, that's one thing though that Josh did explain. You know, he said, "Oh, Ben makes, you know, he produces some fire music." You know,
Yeah,
anytime
I just
he
mix
produces-
vocals basically. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how to make a beat for shit, but
Yeah.
like I just do vocals.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, and then I think you like came when you guys were living down at the same spot.
Yeah.
You even came through and showed me some of the jams too. I was like, damn, this one got something, bro. This one got.
Hey, that's what's up.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you were just talking about. That's an interesting thing nowadays with music. It reminds me of something like we were talking about Kanye for a quick second. He's one of those dudes, right? He'll drop an album and then he will go back for weeks to months and like, you know, edit it, change it up, redrop things and stuff like that. That's one of the cool things about the digital age and music now. You can do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it almost seems like the only reason you put something out to begin with is because he has, you know, a label with a deadline or something. And like, yeah, he's just gonna change it until it feels like what he wants it to sound like. I think that's cool. A lot of people complained about it and they're like, just leave it alone, but I don't know.
It's his legacy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At that point, I think it was like at this point, you know, the art's living and breathing. You know, it's like living at that point.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
like forever evolving and stuff like that.
Yeah.
that's how dope, bro.
Yeah. Well, if you guys were to drop some advice, because you guys have taken the time over the last few years, came together, created this cohesive unit where you guys are still able to have the flexibility to get your own style of music out there. If you guys were to give some advice to some young up-and-comers in Humboldt County that were maybe on the same wavelength or same general direction, like what would you tell them?
Man, just like make the type of music that you want to listen to, basically. That's what I tell anyone. Like, don't make a song for a TikTok algorithm or for, you know, to pop up on a Spotify playlist. Make something like, it could sound like hot garbage to everyone else. It don't matter. Make something that, like, you want to listen to. Like, that's really my main focus now, is just like, I'm making the type of music that I want to hear pop up on my Spotify recommended, that I want to hear. You know, I don't listen to the fucking radio, but in theory would want to hear on the radio, even though the shit I make would never, you know, be on the radio. Like, just make the shit that you want to listen to, because that's going to be a lot more rewarding than trying to chase a sound and get, like, approval from other people. So that's like the one thing, like, I'm not good with advice, but that's definitely the one thing I tell people. Just, like, make shit that you think is dope.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is really easy, like early on, to want to hop on trends and stuff. And I remember on SoundCloud when I started making music and like Lil Pump and Smoke Perp were popping off, and I was like, oh, this is the sound. You have to sound like this. Fucking just ignorant, repetitive, and that was just not me at all. And I like tried so hard to do that, to like feed into the views and the plays, and it was just bad. And not creatively fulfilling at all.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
That's one thing too, is like, you know, if you're just starting, like 99% of people, you're not gonna sound good. Just like if you don't like it, if no one likes it, but you still want to make music, just don't stop making music. Like, 'cause one day it's gonna sound good. I've gone back into my archives of the first 10 songs that I've ever made.
Oh yeah.
It makes me want to go back in time and slap myself. Like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna be good on the first night. You're not going to blow up. You're not going to be an overnight success. Like, it takes time. You got to put your 10,000 hours in. Like, that's something we aren't even done with yet.
No,
and we're
yeah.
seeing progress already. Like, once, you know, you can make music your whole life, and once you know, you're on your deathbed, you're probably still going to be thinking about that song you made last week and be like, that shit isn't done yet. That's garbage. Like, I need it. Like, you know, you don't, just because you critique yourself so hard doesn't mean that other people are going to. And so like allow other people to, you know, listen to stuff that even maybe you don't like. Just drop it. Don't worry about it. Put it out there. Someone's going to hear it. Someone's going to like it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Right. I got a question for you real quick. So what do y'all take on, would you guys rather have, quality or quantity?
Quality.
Quality,
Yeah.
That's one thing that I'm switching, like, you know, back when I was on the 8-track and making, you know, screamo rap, punk type shit, like, I was cranking out 3 songs a week, and they're like, you know, some people still go back and like, oh, this is dope. They're like, they're okay, yeah, I like them or whatever. Some people even like them more than my new stuff, but it's like, you know, when I was doing that, I wasn't thinking about it. I was recording a song I was writing a song in 15 minutes, recording it in 15 minutes, editing it in 15 minutes, and then dropping it without, you know, telling anyone, just it was up. And it's like, that's cool, you know, maybe to get your bearings in the beginning, but like, you know, to get that cohesive sound that you want, you got to work at it. I'll work on one part of a song for weeks, and, you know, then it's finally done. So it's like, taking the time to make something that you like, that you think other people will like, is better than just half-assing a song and then putting it out there.
And like I kind of have a similar story. Like back like when I was first going to the Mars project, you know, I only had like an hour or 2 every week, and I'd try to record like 1 or 2 songs in that hour, and I'd, you know, have a beat, or I would have Corey lay the most like simple guitar pattern. I'd record on it, the vocals would be unmixed, untuned, nothing. I'd drop it on SoundCloud because I was like, I need to get a song out. But it was like, that wasn't like helping me craft my sound, you know, because I was trying so quickly to get music out instead of like actually coming back. Like, I finally learned, and I think Corey even said like, hey, maybe we should spend like another session or 2 on this. And it's like, we'd go back and like re-record some vocals, you know, mix it a little bit, fine tune it, and that's when it became like a lot more fulfilling. And so I've definitely since then been like a quality over quantity guy. I mean, like Ben said earlier, like I spent a whole year, I had a whole mixtape, whole album like ready to drop, and I was going back every week to Mars to hang out with Corey and like mix it and re-record parts of it because like I wasn't satisfied yet with how it sounded. And I could have got it out a year earlier than I did, but I waited, and it was definitely for the best. It definitely felt a lot more rewarding when it came out.
Hell yeah.
So,
Hell yeah. And you know, you're speaking on your album Orca, you want to speak on that name a little bit? Where you get the name from that a little?
That's my cat's name.
Oh, that's the cat's name.
So, like, in
okay.
the first song, like I say, like I forget the fucking lyrics, but it's something about like how I feel like my cat, always scared, always sad, something like that. And so like I just like the name too. Like I thought Orca was like short and sweet. I didn't want some like long ass title for my album, so like I was like Orca, and you know, it kind of followed a theme. Going back to influences, like another influence that's kind of like out of left field for me, there's this artist Roy Blair, and he made this album back in 2017 called Cat Heaven, and it's about like his dead pets and like talking about like basically what I was talking about with my song Bunku, where like, oh, like my pets are dead, it feels like a part of my childhood is gone. And I hella resonated with that because I found that album when like I was going through some shit. My like dog died, I was struggling through like the end of like my teenage years and like adolescence and shit. And so that was like a big influence for the album, and that's why I was like, okay, Orca, like that's the name of it, you know, it represents my pet, and it just represents like just a part of me, you know, so it's like Orca. And not all the songs are about that. The songs are very much like about various topics in my personal life and shit, but like the first track and the last track kind of like tie it all together.
Yeah. And how like important do you feel like it is to like you know, put yourself in a vulnerable position and like speak on your life?
It's
you know
been like the top priority with my music from like day one, you know, like from the first shit I recorded that was like absolute trash. I was like talking about some very vulnerable shit that I would never talk about with people, you know. My parents would hear this shit and be like, do we need to like fucking 5150 you? Like, goddamn, like, where's this coming from? You never talk about this with us. And there's just like, music was an avenue for that. It was an outlet for that. So it's like super important to me to like no matter what type of music, even if I'm making the hard, like, bodacious, like, trap shit, I still try to, like, work in those, like, personal things about myself into that music, you know, and it's, like, definitely a part of me that I try to keep with, like, everything that I make.
Yeah, and so like as you know, mask all you guys is together. You know, do you guys feel the same way as like, you know, showing your vulnerability, you know, to everybody, and you know, is that like a theme of Cemetery Boys as well? Because I know a lot of kids connect with you for that reason.
For sure.
In like day-to-day life, like I'm pretty like closed off emotionally, I guess, and like for some reason music is an easy way to do that. And like, you know, I have an easier time recording a song knowing that, you know, hundreds to thousands of people are going to hear it, and it's about deep personable things. But I have a problem, you know, talking to a friend about how I'm feeling that day or something like that. And it's like, that's part of the reason I started music. It wasn't for people to listen to, it's because like I needed to just get some shit out.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's an outlet, it's therapy, it's stuff like that, and people just so happen to start listening to it. And if they, you know, can find a way to relate with that, you know, things like that, that's dope. Because like, you know, I listen to music when I'm not feeling like okay. And I like to listen to things that other people are going through to be like, oh, it's not just me. Like, you know, there's bigger shit out there. Like, helps you get it out at that moment. And so, like, I want to be able to make music for people like that, too. Because maybe someone's gone through something that I have.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, it's easier to speak on a mic. And I don't know, like for me personally, I don't journal.
Yeah.
You know, I don't write in a journal. So yeah, this microphone, that's how I get my shit.
Oh yeah, open the notes app and write something down.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I feel, you know, and like I said, like I feel that's why a lot of like these kids like resonate with you guys specifically, is because you guys have no problem talking about stuff like that, you know, things that need to be talked about, you know?
It's just like being brutally honest with yourself and with like other people. Like, I feel like music is the only way I could do that, because like much like Ben, like I cannot like go and talk to someone about how I'm feeling worth shit, you know, like I will like keep it all bottled up and inside, but like open up Ableton, I'm able to like get it all out and fucking get it all out on a track and then post it for everyone to listen to. So it's like,
yeah, that's crazy.
Louis especially is brutally honest.
Yeah.
That really inspired me for sure.
Yeah, cripple fuck one,
Yeah,
two.
and that's why people connect so much with those lyrics for sure. Especially like live, there's just an energy when people are feeling that.
That song is like so outdated at this point, cripple fuck, but like it's like 2019, like way different vibe that I was going for, but like it still like resonates with me, and it's still like people love it. I think I mainly do it because other people like it at this point. And it's like that's the one thing I will do for like other people. Like for the most part, if I'm making some shit, it's for myself, but when I'm up on stage, I'm like, okay, my set's about to be over, I'm gonna close it off with crippled fuck, like get these people riled up one more time before I head out. And so like it's always a fun one to do.
Hell yeah, I enjoy seeing that one. Shit, it's always fun. It's always fun. Cemetery Boys, that's a fun show. Like even though y'all talk about some deep shit, it's like y'all get my ass moving. I hold up the wall at concerts most of the time. And I'll be moving around and
that's the thing is like, that's what's so fun about the music we make is it is like very fucking personal, but I think I've gotten a lot better about making that music and making it fun to listen to still, and not just some depressing like drug out ballad. Like going back to what I was saying about Corey, like playing guitar for me, I'd have him play some sad ass guitar melody, nothing else, no drums, nothing, just hop on it and go off for like like 5 fucking minutes, and boom, drop the song, and people listen to it and they're like, wow, this is really fucking depressing.
No, like I feel like all of us like have, you know, at the same time been like, oh, we can still make this shit but make it fun. You know, like fucking get people crying in the club type shit, you know, like you can come there and get your grievances out, but you can shake some ass too.
For sure, it's fun. So
yeah, and you know, like I said, like, you know, you guys, you know, use the microphone to get your feelings out, but then there's that one kid that like doesn't make music, but he just enjoys listening to that because it helps him get out of his head. You feel me?
That or even that kid who's like doubting, like the kid who's doubting himself, who like doesn't know if he wants, or like he wants to make music and get shit out, but then like in the same way where I came and saw them and I'm like, shit, I could do this, like I want to do this too. Like I hope other kids do the same thing I did. They go, oh fuck, I don't want to come watch these guys. I want to be one of those guys. I want to be up on stage. And like that's one of the main goals too, is to like help inspire people to make shit. Because like it's so accessible nowadays. You know, you don't got to go get a recording deal with a 5-man band and everyone has to learn an instrument for 10 years. You can just fucking go buy a cheap ass microphone and plug it into your iPhone if you wanted to, and you can make a fucking hit.
Yeah.
And that's basically what we do this shit for, is to inspire, right?
Exactly. Yeah, so it's always super rewarding just hearing people like even like crippled fuck, like all my shit stems from my disability and the shit that I deal with that. And I'll have like non-disabled people come up to me and be like, yo, that song or like this song that you have like really helped me with this, and like I couldn't even relate to it, but I still somehow did, you know. And so that has like probably been the most like rewarding thing when it comes to like being very vulnerable with my music, is just the people, like no matter what background they're from, being like inspired by it and being able to resonate with it is super fucking rewarding.
Yeah. And like I was gonna jump off from the little tangent real quick. Y'all fuck with Weirdo, right?
Yeah, Weirdo's cool.
So he's cool. So we had a little combo one day, and he was kind of like, I just want to like quit this shit. I just feel like nobody's like listening, this and that. And I was like, no, bro. It's like, don't quit. I was like, because there might be one kid that listens to that shit and you done changed his whole life.
Yeah,
you know, I was like, don't stop making that shit. You know,
Exactly.
do y'all feel like the same way? Like if you know.
Oh, definitely. Like I get super raveled up in numbers and shit, especially having like the following I did on TikTok. Like dropping a song and it only gets like 500 plays on SoundCloud. I'm like, oh man, like this fucking flopped. But then it's like, no, but there's still people out there listening to it. Like, yeah, it's not like this mega big like following and shit, but it's like people are listening to it still and like appreciating it. I'm not just gonna like ignore them because the masses aren't like listening to what I'm doing, you know?
Even if it's just your own friends. Like I used to
Exactly.
delete all my old songs after a couple months, and these guys would get mad at me, and I was
I
like,
have-
why do you care? Nobody's listening to this.
I have
But
all of
they
those
were.
still. Got them all in the archives, so.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
You deleted Terrar and then your computer got fucked up, and so it's never you're never gonna get that song
Wipe my
back.
hard drive.
I'm
Yeah.
never gonna be able to hear that song again.
Oh man.
So sad.
Yeah.
See, I love that about y'all. Y'all fucking with each other's music like that.
Yeah.
Where you're like,
Yeah,
damn, man.
bro.
That's important, you know. That's important for sure. You got something for the boys?
Nah, man. Whatever they want to get into, you know, this is definitely you guys' time to talk about whatever you want to.
So
That we didn't cover.
We got a show coming up this Friday. If this comes out by then, pull up. It'll be $10 at the door, or you can cop a $5 pre-sale ticket. It'll be at Richard's Goat Tavern on Friday, March 31st. Music starts at 9. Doors open at 8.
Yes,
It's
sir.
gonna be me, Ben in Pain, Mr. Me Spirit, and Mr. Not Louie performing there.
Yep, freak show. So
Yeah.
so
New
now
shirts, right?
Okay,
Hopefully.
yeah. Maybe there'll be merch there. Maybe not.
I got one.
Yeah.
I got one question.
For sure.
Y'all still got some of those Cemetery Boy shirts from the last show?
Shit,
Cause I'm
do you
trying to
want
buy
to wear?
one.
Do you want to wear a women's small? Because
I'll fit into a motherfucker.
Shit.
No, we got one medium or one large.
We have a medium. I shipped the large off to Harlow Road because we're doing a little merch trade.
Oh.
So we have a medium left.
Well, if we don't get you with one this time, we're gonna get you with one.
Hey,
Yeah.
just let me know. I will buy one of those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
We ordered some like better quality shirts for a little more money, and the shipping got fucked up, and they're like, it might be there before the 31st, it might not. So either they're gonna show up like a day before, and I'm crunching out 60 shirts in a night, because we do all of our own designs. I make the designs. I bought screens. I'm screen printing all those. But if they're there, they'll be there. If not, next show, come cop some.
I love that. That last one y'all did with the little logo,
Yeah.
that was fire. That was
Yeah,
fire.
we'll have to like remake our old designs at some point too.
Well,
'cause-
we kept all the positives
Yeah,
for
we
them,
do,
so we can
yeah.
redo them.
yeah, because that last one was a hit for
Yeah.
sure.
That was tight. That was
Yeah.
fire. And I did not make that one, and I felt fucking so bad about it because I was like, bro, I can't wait to go to this show. And then
It's all good.
but yeah, no, I love going to Cemetery Boys shows. It's always
Yeah.
it's always a good time. Always a good time. That's what like I said.
This Friday.
That's where all the cute golf girls are. Just saying.
Let them know, yeah. Hey, so make sure you guys check Cemetery Boys out this Friday, March 31st at Richard's Goat. Keep an eye for future shows from the Cemetery Boys and music from the Cemetery Boys.
Sir, not Louie, Me Spirit, Ben and Pain. You already know.
Yeah, we don't got a official Cemetery Boys Spotify just yet, but coming soon. It'll have all of our music on there. Have more music coming soon.
Yes, sir.
Not Louie's got an album called Orca that you can go listen to. OSHA.
Got a new EP, Call Me Unlucky, on Spotify, and then also our Instagram, Real Cemetery Boys. Go
Yeah.
follow that.
Yes, sir.
Then I got an EP called Bye. You can go check out, or not. I don't care. It's not finished technically, but
Still fucking slaps like a motherfucker though, so it don't matter.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. Like I said, I wanted to do this one personally with David because, like I said, I fuck with y'all.
I'm glad you came in, bro.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for having us
Thank
on.
you,
This was tight.
Thank you guys for coming
Yeah.
in. That's the other thing too. Like I tell all the guests that come on, this podcast is for you guys. So at any point in the future, when you guys are ready to come back, you guys got to drop, and you guys want to let them know, hit me up, and we'll come do it.
For sure.
I'm gonna put this one straight on YouTube when I get home because there's nothing to edit.
No.
You know. So yeah, so you guys will see this
Solid
one tonight.
podcast right there. So,
Sweet.
yeah, fuck yeah.
So
Yeah.
y'all want to get your socials plugged in real quick?
Yeah, my Instagram is Ben in Pain. It sounds like spells like it sounds. It's just BENINPAYNE.
Yeah.
That's just for everything. You look that up, you'll find me on anything.
Yep, Shiny Me Spirit on Instagram.
Oh, that's you. Okay.
Oh, that's
Posted some weird shit on my stories.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, not Louie, NOTLEWY. That's everywhere. Fucking Instagram, SoundCloud, Spotify, Twitter, TikTok. I guess not really anymore. But anywhere you can find me, YouTube. I'm everywhere. So
Yeah.
Yeah. My boy said I'm everywhere they ain't. What's good?
OnlyFans coming soon. Nah. But, yeah.
Oh boy, hell yeah, that was a
Yeah.
tight one, y'all. That was a tight
Yeah.
one.
Thanks, fellas. You guys, make sure you tune in to the Hip Hop Humboldt podcast. We got more interviews with hip hop artists and artists in Humboldt County. Go to HipHopHumboldt.com, buy some merch. You can find all the episodes there. And till next time, y'all.
Fuck yeah, that was tight.
Smooth. Hell yeah.
Oh, it sounds weird, man.
Yeah.